You're watching Time and Tide, because watches aren't boring.
This is a real honor to have a personal presentation from the CEO of Jaeger-LeCoultre. So this is a very happy day for us to have this opportunity. One of my habits that I've developed now in Zoom is that we start with a wrist check with what's happening, because you can't do this on a phone call. So
you're right. Well, today I'm wearing a Reverso tribute.
Yes.
Beautiful lead vin, burgundy color.
Yes.
I love the piece. I love its size, its color, and the spirit it brings to me with Reverso.
Yes. Well, I must tell you that one of our viewers did a video about he had his watch engraved by the Maison. I'll have to send you this video. It's a good video, but he says that he flips the watch on the weekend so that he can't see the time. Is there any, just so that he can relax a little bit more, is there any time when you flip the watch over? Yes,
I do actually. I love to, for me, it's also a relaxing movement, but it's not just on the weekend. It's really, to flip it and turn it and kind of, hear that little click. I do that several times a day. It has this, magic of touching a beautiful object.
Mm. That's I know that can be quite calming to have something like that.
Yes. What I wanted to share with you today through this Zoom is all the beauty of our manufacture and all the creativity that the teams have put again into sound making and minute repeaters, but not just minute repeaters, also our very signature Memovox movement. So just to go back this month, we are happy to present the new Master Grande Tradition Grande Complication with a caliber 945. Again, this piece has a lot of the patents of Jaeger-LeCoultre, including the crystal gong, where you see the gong at the back is set to the glass, and the trebuchet hammers to give more volumes and more sound to the chime of the watch. This piece has a celestial inspiration with a very unique creative design done in 3D of golden material, 40 hours of work for this actual decor on the dial that you can see here. And that is a reminder of the constellations and how constellations are linked when you draw them from one star to the next.
Is it possible to hear the music?
Yes, of course. And on top of the minute repeater, we have an orbital tourbillon and a picture of the sky chart in the northern hemisphere that you can read here in this circle. So actually, I will chime the watch now. Let me wear a glove. That's better. Here we go. Voilà.
Beautiful.
At Jaeger-LeCoultre is a lot more than the minute repeaters. I mean, we started in 1870 with minute repeaters. We own more than 200 calibers of minute repeaters, patents that we are adding up to our collection on a regular basis to really improve always the sound. But the sound is also a very important signature of Jaeger with the Memovox, this automatic alarm movement created in the 50s. And this year, to celebrate sound and the sound making of our manufacture, we are also coming with two new Memovox. So I have the first one here. It is the Memovox Timer. This piece actually, for the first time, has an open back where you can discover the Memovox caliber. We've reworked the gong, we've reworked the hammer for the back to be even more open, and you can enjoy the hammer when the watch rings. In the front, this is actually a limited edition of 250 pieces. And I don't know if you can see the center, but you actually have two ways to set the Memovox alarm. Either the standard way, where you point the triangle to the time you want the watch to ring, or you have a countdown, which is the center of the watch, where you have the number of hours before the watch will ring. So the number of hours before our interview, for instance, the time you want to wake up. So here you have the first one, and there is another piece on the Memovox, which is in the spirit of the Master Control new collection that we just redesigned. And this one has the Novo Napa strap, the sun red dial. Both of the pieces are actually in the Master Control new case that was just redesigned this year with the relaunch of Master Control. Here you go. Okay. So sound making at Jaeger-LeCoultre, 150 years of minute repeaters, 187 years of expertise in watchmaking, and sound that goes from the very artistic, complex movement of minute repeaters all the way to the very useful they were Memovox. And this is what I wanted to share with you in a nutshell today from our manufacturer.
When you took on this very a very desirable role of leading a business as with such a long history and with such a great character, was there anything that you wanted to bring to Jaeger in terms of the culture that was different to the way that it had been before? Did you have a different idea of culture that you've brought to the business?
Well, I think when I first joined, I noticed right away that there was very strong closeness between the values that are important to me in terms of team spirit, respect of heritage, authenticity, creativity, that Jaeger-LeCoultre had. And honestly, I think what I did was to ignite all of this, to give a strong purpose to the teams, to look at a bright future. And this was not a difficult task, to be honest.
Yeah, whenever I meet anyone from Jaeger, it's just this crazy enthusiasm. It's very different in Jaeger.
Yes, it is. Well, I think it comes, from our manufacturer. We have this manufacturer with 180 know-hows. We're still making the watches where our founder started in 1833, and it's a very collective effort within the manufacturer. To make a watch, it's never the work of one person. It's always a team bringing their expertise together. That's why this manufacturer was first founded. It was to gather experts under one roof to go quicker at exchanging and managing the challenge of watchmaking. And I think this, honestly, over almost 200 years, has brought a very strong spirit, team spirit, and a very strong pride in achieving challenges, in doing what we've always been doing, which is high expertise watchmaking with very strong design, understated and elegant. And once you know what you do, once you have this spirit of continuity, I think there is no more that you need to create the value and the identity of a maison. This is our strength for sure.
Yes. Your other strength is something very different that we wrote a story this week about why. This is a fun topic, but we wrote a story this week about why the Reverso was the best choice for Batman of any movie choice of any character's watch.
Nice topic. So what were your arguments?
Well, the best one is that he has two faces.
You're right.
So this story has had 120,000 views. It was picked up by GQ in the US. It was a big story for us. It was our biggest ever story. It's had 120,000 views in, I think, 4 days. So it really is a big story. But I wondered, you know, this is not uncommon for Jaeger to be in the movies. I wondered, what is your favorite appearance of a Jaeger in a movie? Do you have one?
Well, you know, I like very much the appearance of Jaeger in Doctor Strange. You know, together with our friend Benedict Cumberbatch. This was before Benedict actually, you know, partnered with us and became one of our ambassadors. And this is how we met him. You know, back then. I think he had picked, and it just happened that Jaeger-LeCoultre meant something to be in that movie, and he's wearing a Master Ultra Thing. It's really one of our really icon in the Master collection. And after that, we connected with him, and we're together still today, going through all the steps of Jaeger-LeCoultre. I think it's a nice story to have the piece in such a, you know, another superhero movie, and on top of it, to create a partnership and a relationship from this experience.
I thought you might have said Don Draper in Mad Men.
Well, you're right as well.
Now, this year, I think this is my favorite collection of Jaeger watches in, I can't even remember how long since. I've thought that this was such a sweet spot for the brand. I think the Master Collection is, I think it's really well priced as well for the amount of complication you're getting within these watches. But how do you feel about this year, and how is it different to other years? Because it seems to be, without it being an explosion of anything very, very different, it's just perfect for the brand. Tell me about the collection this year and what's made it so special, because everyone seems to be very excited, I think.
Well, we are excited, and I think the team has done really a fantastic work in giving its full redesign and rework to the Master Control collection. You know, that collection was introduced in 1992, and at that time, the reason behind this collection was strong improvements already on the movement in terms of performance, to the point that we launched back then the 1,000-hour controls that we're still running, which is multiple tests along the making of the watch, that we're still running for all our calibers. And this year, in 2020, we also made very strong improvements to our caliber in the Master Control. We have 70 hours power reserve. We have more and improved sustainability, reliability of the piece. And we felt it was a good time to showcase all these improvements in Master Control with a redesigned case. So we've reworked the case extensively on the lugs, on the bezel, on the push buttons, to give it as well a modern touch and a sense of contemporaneity. As well, we decided that a new association of function with the Chrono calendar, which is an unseen and unusual for Jaeger-LeCoultre, would be an exciting step for Master Control. So the collection, and I have actually the Chrono calendar with me, is with a 40 millimeter case, you know, is very elegant, very understated, but with, of course, all the sense of details that Jaeger-LeCoultre puts not only in its movements, but as well in the design of its watches. The strap is calf strap. It's called Novonapa. It has a special vegetable tanning. It will live with you, get a darker tone and get a patina along the years. I think it gives also the piece a very contemporary look. while really paying tribute, you know, to the 1992 model and all the spirit of Master Control. For us, Master Control is a collection that is really a daily wear collection that has very useful functions. This is how we see it. So the functions of geographic, calendar, chrono, here chrono, calendar, or the two Memovox I showed you earlier. Again, you know, with this alarm like this piece. There are functions that you can definitely use today when you're tired of looking at a phone and one more screen to check the time or be reminded of an appointment. You know, then Master Control is there for you, and really a piece you can wear daily. It's both elegant with a modern and you know, an action touch.
So I've been very fortunate to visit the manufacturer, and I think my most profound memory is walking into that room with all of the suspended calibers. This endless wave of suspended calibers
around the staircase, right?
Correct. How is this a rare combination for JLC to have a chrono calendar in a piece like this? Have there been many calibers that have combined those complications?
No. It's a first for us. So it came really as a brainstorming, as an idea on useful functions, you know, which is really the spirit of Master Control, and how we could make an association that would be a new one and make a step for the collection. We have 1,200 calibers. So, you know, it's nice to still go ahead and invent and bring novelties, as we love to do in our collection and in watchmaking.
Yes. Now, do you mind if I go a little bit more deeply into our writer, Sandra Lane, made us aware of a very small detail of the Master Control calendar that I think is just so Jaeger, and that is the way that the date hand ever obscure the moon phase, which requires it to do a little party trick, a little jump. Tell me, why do you care that much, and how difficult was this? Because that's quite technical, isn't it?
It is tricky, and it's really here at the bottom where, you know, there will be a jumping of the hands to really not block the moon. And I think these are the type of details that you don't see in first sight, obviously, but you will appreciate not only the fact that the beauty of the moon that is you know, moving, of course, slowly, and that you can appreciate at its own speed throughout the day, will never be blocked by anything else on the watch. These type of details had a level of complexity in the construction of the movement, but they are obviously challenges and excellence that a maison like Jaeger-LeCoultre like to add to a piece to reflect our expertise. You know, we've got a research and development in-house of constructors and prototyping laboratory and experts that love to get new challenges and to be up to the innovation and the novelty in a piece.
Because this is almost like a complication in itself to have a jumping date hand.
Of course. You know, it's also, it's like all these details, to go back to our minute repeaters, you know, that are really made to make the watch even stronger in terms of performance, in terms of appreciation. You know, trebuchet hammers, for instance, you know, this was a big innovation just for the purity, the volume of the sound of a watch. So our job is details, you know, details that require hours of engineering and testing, but the sense of achievement when you reach it when you manage to add this, either this complication or this innovation or this element of functionality is amazing. That's what timepieces are about.
And yet, I think what to me is very unique to JLC is that this wasn't something that was pushed very high up in the press release. A detail like this, it's almost buried. It's almost buried like a little secret. Yeah.
Well, I think we are, a very understated maison. We're not in a mode of show off, and we like to bring the product out there and for people to enjoy, to discover. There is a lot to say about the piece. It's of course something we're very proud of, and the whole collection. And again, thank you for pointing it out. There has been a lot of thoughts put into it to bring master control, back to a modernity and novelty with this relaunch.
Just on that note, and I know I'm staying on this, but I'm really I'm very smitten by the Master Control collection. It combines really almost quaint and classic elements like the triple calendar with something that, and again, I haven't held this piece yet, so I need to have this.
You won't be disappointed.
I need to have this extra intimacy with the watch, because at the moment I'm just looking at it with my eyes. But what are the touches what are the little tiny design touches that make it so contemporary? Is it the more open bezel, the way that it opens up the dial? Tell me what in your mind, what makes it look somehow classic and yet very, very contemporary? Because there's something magic there.
Yeah, I mean, that's the magic, because we are engineers and detail oriented, but we're also magicians. But in my opinion, the magic definitely lies into a few details. You talked about the rework on the bezel. This is definitely a very nice finish and open bezel that gives a full, really a full visibility to the dial. Despite the 40 millimeter, you've got a very nice balance between the size of the watch, the bezel positioning, and its height. Then you've got the quality of the work on the finishes, on the side of the watch, and the rework of the lugs. I don't have, another case with me here, but you can see really the dynamic of the lugs, and a lot of thought has been put into their shape and positioning. And then for the chrono calendar, the shape of the push buttons, I think, are also an element of modernity. So all of these elements combined together with the traditional, functions and the choice of strap, I think brings this very nice bridge between tradition and modernity. It's a very contemporary piece, easy to wear as well. Really a daily wear collection.
Well, I absolutely love it, and this is making me love it even more. Now, tell me also about the Reverso for women, the new Reverso One.
Yes. Well, this one is in our spirit of colors and our inspiration with Burgundy, which we started a year ago with actually the tribute that I'm wearing today. We brought the color into the Reverso One, which has, of course, a feminine size, and really we wanted to be able to have both these two pieces celebrating this very deep color that has, I think, for Reverso, the nice touch of how you work such an icon that's almost 90 years old, playing with the depth of the color, the beauty of matching the dial and the strap. These are other details that we work on as well, and that can really give a new face and a new life to a piece.
Mm. And you don't have it there for me to see in the metal?
No, I don't. I'm sorry.
That's okay. I just wondered about how would you describe the shade of, because is it a sort of a Bordeaux red sort of color?
It's a Bordeaux red, yeah.
Great. Now, look, that was a really great description of some of the new pieces. Now, we're getting to know you a little bit too, because this is the first time I think Australians have connected with you like this. So tell me, I can usually remember the first time I saw most brands, but not all, maybe only the ones that have really iconic designs. But do you remember the first time you ever laid eyes on a Jaeger?
Yes, for sure. It was a Reverso, no question. And I was actually in a shop, going for a 20 years old piece with my family and my fiancé, who became my husband. And this is when I discovered how a watch can turn, how this design. And at that time, I loved very much the shape of the watch. I loved the rectangle and how it fits into the wrist. And this is why Reverso was my choice. Yes, very much. I remember. Very familiar name, back. I won't say my age, but it was a few years back.
And which model was that?
It was a Reverso One in steel.
Beautiful. And that was obviously your first JLC. You've answered my next question too. And yes. And tell me about your own. Was that your first good watch ever, or were there others before that?
No, I had a watch before that for my 12th birthday. I don't know why 12th, but this is the first memory I have of owning my own watch. It was red, so maybe that's why I remember the color. And back then it was round, and then it was I think why I went for not a round watch later on when I went to pick one that I knew I would keep for a long time.
Excellent. And my last question, I mean, unless you want to tell me about, because often with a brand, you'll start with the icon and then start to explore other models and collections. Have you had any interesting discoveries along the way about other Jaeger models that have taken your fancy?
Well, honestly, what I've loved to discover along the way are the signatures of Jaeger. I love the watches, but I love the story behind some of the historical moments and really this invention that have marked the Maison. So I love to discover the story of the 101 movement, which I discover. I was not yet at Jaeger-LeCoultre, and how this movement enabled ladies to wear a watch, very discreetly on their wrist. I loved the story of the Atmos. And for me, having such an object is a fantastic tribute to eternity and really to the beauty of the air, making the movement work. And more recently, I discovered Memovox and the alarm, and we've been working a lot on these pieces. And for me, all these signatures. And last but not least is duometre, even more complex in terms of innovation. This has been for me really important to understand better the Maison. I think when you understand all of these signatures and what they mean, you see really what Jaeger stands for. It's innovation, it's objects, it's really touching everything in watchmaking that can make a difference in terms of easiness to wear. That's 101. In terms of real innovation and fiability, it's duometre. in terms of helping you in your daily life. It's Memovox. So Jaeger was always there with the power of its manufacture and creativity in the watchmaking story to invent and to bring to the public objects that will make a difference. And that's how Reverso came to life. It was, how do I protect my watch playing polo? Yeah. and this is really the challenge that got picked up, and how the watch became to rotate to protect the face. So all of these signatures, I think they tell a lot. About our maison, and I've loved to discover them very much.
Now, I just wondered. Obviously, our lives are very different now in this strange moment in history. One question that is always seems to have a different answer from every person is whether any of the new routines that we've developed in our life for this period, is there anything you've discovered that you're going to take forward even when the restrictions end?
Well, that we will see. I mean, what I've discovered definitely is a new relationship to time. I think this confinement has put us in a way where the intensity of the interaction we have online and the decisions we make every day are quick and very undone before. However, the time seems to also have slowed down, where suddenly everything is at another pace. And this new relationship to time and being able, in a way, in a positive note, to slow down and to think back at what, basic things you can do with your family in a more timely fashion. Hopefully we can keep that, We managed to travel less and to be as close to the team as before, even if it's, of course, always frustrating when you're on a Zoom meeting to cut at the end of the discussion and not have these small talk interaction that are so important. However, we've kept in great touch and enjoyed, the fact that we are going through these times together. I'm very proud of the Maison in this situation. The Maison has shown very strong resilience roots based on the values that we have built over the years. One of them is what we call the inner fire, the passion that our team have for what they do. And I think this has been clearly a strength in these times to keep going together, to see the bright side of things and to manage. So,
Catherine, thank you so much for today. I just would like to give you an opportunity, because whenever we have an event in Australia around the brand, whenever we talk about the brand, there is a very passionate group of Jaeger-LeCoultre fans in Australia. And I wondered if you would like to just have a last message to them before we go, just because for them, I think this will be the first time they lay eyes on your face. So it might be a nice time for you to say hello.
For sure. Well, thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure to share from the Vallée de Joux all the way to Australia, the beauty of watchmaking, the passion of Jaeger-LeCoultre. I love Australia. I hope to come to visit again very soon. We have a lot of projects in the country. We have a lot to share. And I know that Jaeger-LeCoultre will have a great success to be able to bring to Australia all our innovation and creativity. So thank you for the chance you gave me to reveal some of our secrets and some of our novelties to all of your viewers. Happy to be here.